Hello everyone, my name's Tom Fowl. Today we are going to be taking a look at Plankton Rising from the Op, a game where Plankton is trying to steal the formula to the Krabby Patty. But you, the loyal servants of the Krusty Krab, will try to thwart him in his attempts of doing this. Oh yeah, I should start this with something like, who puts pineapple on his pizza sometimes. But hey, let's go down to the board and take a look. All right, SpongeBob SquarePants' Plankton Rising from the Op is a cooperative dice chucker in which you play one of four workers of the Krabby Patty trying to get orders out for the base game or easy mode. You're trying to get 7 of 11 orders out before Plankton here, and this is just awesome. Pretty good size too. Like if you take like a standard playing card, put it up to him, he's pretty beefy, well detailed, pre-painted. Before Plankton here, and normally you set him up like this. For the sake of video, I'm just gonna lay him down. But you're trying to get 7 or more of these orders out before Plankton has the ability to steal the formula for the Krabby Patty. How do we do this? Well, first, we need to pick one of our heroes, and seeing we'll set up for a 2-player game, so let's take SpongeBob. Let's take Patrick. Why? Because they're buddies. So we do that. We'll take their corresponding starting locations. So we got SpongeBob's house. We've got Patrick's rock. Let's put SpongeBob here, Patrick down here. I know I don't have a ton of room for their teams right now, but and on these it'll tell us if they have a special ability, extra perks once teams come into play, or if they have a power right below, like SpongeBob. If you have at least one other friend with the effort symbol, you'll get another yellow die. We'll show you why die are important here in a second. Also, if you spend a 1 effort, you can remove a time from actually from any friend, or if you roll 3 or more effort on your first roll, you can remove 1 time from any 2 friends. We'll show you why that's important here in a minute. For Patrick down here, same thing. If you have at least 1 other friend, you get plus 1 red die. He's got his starting pool of 3 red. He's got, yeah, for 2 BFF, -1 from any friend, or for 4, if you roll 4 or more on your first roll, and it has to be the very first, you can look at the next Plankton card and discard it. So we know we want to get 7 or more of these ingredients made before he can steal the Krabby Patty. We want more die to be able to do everything, but how does this work? What are we talking about? Well, we need to grab their team tokens. SpongeBob gets the effort, he gets the BFF. The other symbols you'll see are teamwork and fun, but very quickly you'll just call it oomph, boomf, trophy, and guitar. And these symbols will also pop up on the corresponding dice as well. The reds are heavier to BFF, the blues are heavier to fun, the guitar, greens are heavier to teamwork, the trophy, and the yellows are heavier to effort, or the oomph, I like to call it. So here we have the Krusty Krab. We have 2 distinct locations in this one. If you've played any of the other Risings, normally there's 3 zones typically. This one has 2. You have the dining room and you have the kitchen. This little separate corner is where Mr. Krabs keeps all the money. Money. And Plankton's going to be going back and forth between. So what we will do, let's set this up. And actually the characters that we didn't pick from the start will actually get shuffled right into here. So if we say we didn't take SpongeBob or Patrick, we would shuffle them in. We will also shuffle in our orders. And there are a couple of evil characters that are going to go right into this deck as well. I'm going to give this a terrible shuffle to start. And what we do is on each side, it's going to be populated by 4 cards. So down here, we got 1, 2, trying to get away from, aha, there we go. 3, 4. And here, I'm going to move my dice tray. The dice tray and the other little storage components do not come with the game. Those are just mine that I put out. Up here, that has kelp rings. Evil Man Ray. So it's going to be 4 on each side. We got Flying Dutchman, Flats the Flounder, Flying Dutchman, Man Ray, and kelp rings. Down here, Double Krabby Patty, Kelp Shake, What's It To Ya, and Barnacle Boy. So when we declare which direction we would like to go, we just place this. SpongeBob will either work the dining room or he'll work the kitchen, which he is trying to either recruit some friends to help, or he's trying to work on orders. So let's, for the sake of example, let's bring SpongeBob down to here. So that is first part of the turn order summary. Second part, we need to take one of these little Plankton cards and flip them over. This will show us where Plankton is wanting to go and what happens, or what part of the Krabby Patty he is going to steal, or at least attempting to steal. So this one is showing the bottom patty. So you take one of these theft tokens cubes, put it on there. At the end of the round, if this is ever full up, he has successfully stolen it. You flip it to the other side, and it will now show you some negatives that happen whenever this symbol would pop back up on one of these cards. So now, so say he stole that, anytime we saw that patty and bottom bun, we would have to add a theft onto any ingredient of our choice. Some of the others, shuffle all orders from your location back into the draw pile. So yeah, you could lose those two. This one, time cannot be removed this turn, and we'll show why that's important here in a minute. Add 1 time to each friend on your team. That can be brutal. The spatulas can't be used this turn. We'll show you what those do. And all players add 1 time to the friends on their team with the least time. So these can get pretty mean. So so Plankton comes here. We put our 1 time down, or our 1 theft token down here. And for every friend, including friends that are on the team, as long as that's the location we're in. So he went dining room, we're in the dining room. Plankton is going to waste our time. So these are time tokens. Once a friend or character has enough time to fill their space at the end of the round, they are defeated. Their time has been wasted so much that they have left the Krusty Krab. If our discard pile ever has 10 friends in it, it is game over. Plankton wins. Or if one team loses all of their friends, it is also game over. So yeah, so Plankton comes here. We put 1 on each of them, and we have to take a look. If Plankton's present, no friends can be made here unless this order is completed. This one, if Plankton is present, plus 1 time to each trophy friend here. Wow, a trophy friend. That sounds terrible, but we don't have any trophy friends, and we'd have to look across our team up here as well. Let's say we had Flying Dutchman instead. One of those, he would pick up an extra time here as well. And then, yeah, these just have perks and bonuses. If we look up top, say he went up here instead of Plankton is present, add 1 theft to any ingredient. Kelp rings, if Plankton is present, no tokens here unless that order is completed. So we'll show you those in a little bit. Let's just show you. So SpongeBob went here. We'll look at his starting pool. He's going to get 2 reds and a yellow. Go ahead and roll, see what we get. We got 3 BFFs symbols. So we have no perks on his because he's all about that effort, the oomph. And then what we do is we take a look down here, because on our turn, we need to assign 1 die to 1 card. We can assign all 3 of these to the same card. We can never split them across, but we need to at least assign 1 die, then we can re-roll. For instance, down here, we rolled the BFFs. Not really great for us. The only one that we can do is this Double Krabby Patty, which it needs 2 BFF symbols and a fun. So we're going to put this onto that. I cannot put this on here, can't put it on here. I can only place it onto one card at a time. So even if this had something else I wanted, you can only focus onto one. So we're going to put our one die onto here. But once again, I could put two if I wanted to and hope this rolls well. But let's, and oh, say none of these match anything that we had down here. I think there's a symbol for each. We can opt to just discard the die as well. Typically, you don't want to do that if you can help it. So yeah, let's just put a red BFF on there. Roll the other two. All right, we got a strength and a BFF. So we are going to put our BFF onto here. All we need is that symbol, and we've got this done. Nope, we got the double oomph. But, so even though we weren't successful, we can actually take this double oomph and place it onto SpongeBob's house to activate this here, which takes one time away from any friend. So let's, well, if What's-A-Tuya gets 4 on him, he's gone. If Barnacle Boy gets 4, he's gone. SpongeBob has a little bit further to go. And we're not going to be recruiting anyone this turn. So yeah, let's take one off of What's-A-Tuya. So that is the other option you can take. That is our turn. Sadly, we didn't recruit anybody, but let's pretend like we rolled well. This one wasn't in play, and we get let's go What's-A-Tuya here. So he comes as part of our team. So then on our team, we can use his power once per turn. You may change a fun to any face, which is great. It doesn't even have to be on a blue die. It can be anywhere. You just boom once per turn. Typically, you would turn to exhaust to remember that you have used it, but you can turn that to any face. Those are some really powerful abilities, if you ask me. The other things you can do are complete orders. So if we would have finished this, we would have put this into a common pile of completed orders. Once again, the basic game, once you have 7 completed orders, you win. The other thing you can do, let's come up to Man Ray. Man Ray, if you are able to put, for him, it's 2 fun and 2 friendship. The first time, and you can only do this once per round, and it takes 2 to be able to complete it. But once you do that, you'll put one of these time tokens on him, because you're also trying to waste his time as well, to get him out of there. And it'll let you draw one of these spatulas. These spatulas have different powers. So this will give you a trophy symbol that you can play on yours or anyone else's turn. That's a fun symbol. This will let you roll a blue die. And these are one-time effects. This is remove 2 time from a friend, a yellow die. Yeah, quite a few different, remove 1 time for 2 friends. There's some that will let you take theft tokens off, which is very nice. Yeah, there we go. Remove 1 theft from any ingredient. So you can collect those. You cannot use them on the same turn that you collected them. So there's no going back like, oh, I've got the dice sitting on here, but now I got this, or like, oh, hey, I just got this turn. I can take this off so it doesn't flip over. You cannot use them on the same turn. That's the down part. So that's kind of the basics. So yeah, say we recruit them. What we'll then do is refill that. Oh yeah, there's Doodle Bob. So we refill that area. If we had Barnacle Boy here, full up, we're at the end of the turn. I'm afraid Barnacle Boy's time has been wasted. He just marches on out, goes to the chum bucket. I don't know, he just marches out and away. If you ever collect 10 in there, it is game over. But once again, if you have 7 or more, depending on your level of difficulty you wish to play of these orders as a team, you win. That's kind of the basics. I know I'm feeling like I glanced over a few things. Plankton, yeah, the three places he can go is the dining room, the kitchen, or the last one is he can go back to the chum bucket. So he is off the board completely. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So he would take another a theft down here, but he's not going to do any more damage up here as well, which is really nice. These run out, you reshuffle them. that's in all honesty the basics. It's a pretty straightforward game once you get into it, and it's a blast. Out of the Rising series, this is probably, and I would say definitely, the easiest of them, and that's not a bad thing. The Rising games, they're dice chuckers at the end of the day, so a lot of luck involved. But this one is a little bit more friendly, and of course it's SpongeBob characters. Who doesn't like SpongeBob characters? So let's come back up top, and I'll tell you what I think. So yeah, that's a look at Plankton Rising. I enjoy this game. The first of the Rising series I ever played was Thanos Rising, which was based off of Infinity War, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, which I quite like. I'm a Marvel nerd. So when I found out there was a SpongeBob version, it was like, okay, I grew up watching SpongeBob. I quite enjoyed it. So thought it'd be kind of cool. And it's one of those, it felt a whole lot easier than the Thanos Rising. And I was okay with that. At times that could kind of kick you pretty hard and there wasn't a whole lot you could do about it. But that's what happens in dice chuckers. And especially where like the cards that come up can be random. Like we like the way that we showed originally, we could have had like all of our ingredient, like we could have had eight orders out right away, or we could have had like 4 ingredients, 4 villains, and we couldn't recruit friends. Like it's just sometimes bad luck absolutely can kill. And what's worse too is the orders that you want to do have negative effects, especially when Plankton is there. So it's yeah, there's a little bit of luck there, and if you ever have a terrible opening draw, I kind of house rule a mulligan of like, no, let's reshuffle, let's re-put this out. Sometimes you might want to almost mana shuffle, or like something like in Pandemic, where it's like, all right, we're gonna separate this out into so many piles. We're gonna put a villain on this pile. We're gonna put a couple of ingredients, shuffle, and then maybe give like a couple cheeky shuffles together, just to even it out a little bit. Rules don't say that at all, but sometimes when you already have heavy luck on your dice, you have heavy luck on what's showing up, you gotta make a few tweaks here and there. And that's just kind of a general thing with the Rising series anyway. And as I said, I like dice chuckers. This one, the first time we played it, it was close. I want to say, if I remember right, we were down to like our last ingredient for him to grab, and we were trying to play it where we got all 11, and we only managed to get 10 before he got the last one out. But we still had a blast, and we don't typically play it where we have a starting number of like, oh, if we win once we hit 7. It's no, we tend to play and see how far we can get before we lose, and try to get through all 11 if we can help it, and then evaluate, oh hey, we made it this far. It's just kind of how we play it. And you know, sometimes that's okay too. Like, you can have an end goal in mind, or you can just try and see how far you get. The components, the production on this is great. That miniature alone is absolutely fantastic. Let me show you the box. I don't normally show boxes, but everything has a home. Everything has a home, which I love. Like, games like this have like spoiled me to other games. I'm looking at you, Fantasy Flight Games. Your boxes are terrible. Where this, it's like, oh cool, like Plankton just straight up goes, oh boop, Plankton's put away. I know those cards go there, those cards go there. It's so nice. It's wonderful. The dice are good quality, fairly easy to read. I think the only one that's a little rough, at least for me, and it's a little bit of a color blind, is the yellow and white. At times I kind of have to squint. Symbols are really easy. If you're like me, you're never gonna remember the fun, teamwork, effort, and friendship. You're just gonna go BFF, guitar, flex arm, and trophy. But that seems to be typical. Plenty of cubes, plenty of at least both time cubes as well as the theft cubes, which is nice. We almost ran out of time cubes. We had we both had large teams, both with damage galore. So what we would start doing after a while is we would just put one onto the top each and just move it down every single time that someone else came out, instead of just covering it all the way through. The downside is if you bumped it, you kind of lost track. But hey, that happens on occasion. But yeah, so components are really good. The gameplay, if you don't like random luck, this isn't going to be the game for you. There is a lot of random luck going on. The nice thing of this version is Plankton has a deck of cards, and he can go away for a little bit. So there are moments of reprieve. Everything's fairly like equal on where he can go. So it's like, oh, if we've seen him go to the kitchen a lot, we should be safe going to the dining room for this turn. Or it's like, oh, he hasn't gone to the chum bucket in a while. Maybe we can take a chance and go in here. So yeah, you can do some risk mitigation in this, but it's a little rough that way. And then of course the dice being weighted a little bit more for the certain colors. So it's like, oh, hey, I roll 3 reds and that card there needs BFFs. I'm gonna angle and go that way. Or if there's a penalty of, oh, I have a lot of effort characters, but if Plankton shows up there, my effort characters are going to take more than one time. I always want to say damage, but no, it is they're taking up their time in this one. There's no killing, none of that in this game. After a while, you may end up saying damage. I said damage a lot while playing this, but I try not to. It was like, oh yeah, no, you're just wasting their time. Plankton is annoying the daylights out of them, which I like. Theming is great. It was strange right away that it was Mr. Krabs as the 4th character, because the characters you can play as are SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, and Squidward. I would have thought it would have been Sandy as the last one, but now thinking, oh yeah, it's employees of the Krusty Krab. Patrick isn't like he worked there like in an episode or 2, kind of. So I was a little surprised to see it instead of just a friend, but it's Mr. Krabs' business, so yeah, at the end of the day, it makes sense. And Sandy shows up in the deck as well. There's so many SpongeBob characters. And even you notice you get kind of more attached to certain characters depending on who you're playing as. Like I saw Grandma SquarePants, and I was playing a SpongeBob down there, and it was just like, okay, everything we needed was on the other side, but I'm like, no, I'm saving Grandma SquarePants. That is just gonna happen. Or like SpongeBob's mom and dad is in here too, and it's like, nope, I'm going for them first. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Harold and Margaret SquarePants. So it's like, So if you're like me, you get into that a little bit more too. So yeah, if you like SpongeBob, great, pick it up. If you don't like SpongeBob, this already isn't for you. You probably wouldn't have clicked on this video in the first place. But yeah, if you have any of the other Rising games, or you have a Rising game as is, only way you're going to want to pick this up is if you are a big SpongeBob fan, because they all, at the end of the day, are kind of the same game. Yeah, there's tweaks, theming's a little bit different, but I mean, realistically at that point, you're probably getting it for this, which, oh my god, this thing's so cool. It looks so good, and it feels good. I mean, it's not too heavy, it's well painted. I love this thing, it's great. So yeah, there's not a ton of difference between the games, but that's just my thought. But yeah, overall, I would still, if you don't have any of the Rising games, you want something a little bit easier in comparison to their others, I would give this a pickup. In comparison to the others, if you want a little bit more difficult, I got those, especially if you want a challenge. I've got a couple videos coming out soonish regarding those as well. They may already be up on the channel, so check those out. But yeah, I recommend this game. Definitely pick it up. That is Plankton Rising from the Op. But hey, I've been Tom Fowl. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this one, or let us know if you played the other Risings, which one is your favorite? Let us know down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. Give it a thumbs down. It lets us know what you want to see and what you don't. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel for more board game, video game, comedy content right here at the Radio Tom channel. Finally getting the name change right. But until next time, thank you for watching.